Go back to last week where we had this inside our RAM. Have a look at the address, have a look at the contents. Let's remind ourselves. So we had address 100. Boom, 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 boom. So in here will be LDA number 1. In here will be LDA number 1. So this was fetch. Let's do decode. So what happens is this, a control unit has a look at what's inside the CIR. Aha, I know what to do with this. It sees LDA, which means load, and it's going to load a value. So it knows what to do with loading a value. It's the same thing every time. And it passes it on to its friend. The control unit passes it on to its friend called the ALU. Can you remember that? What does it stand for? I'm not even going to tell you. You need to look it up. If you can't remember, look at our previous videos. So, it's going to pass LDA number 1 to the ALU. The problem with this is that the ALU will forget the value, so it needs to store it somewhere. And it also has, in the ALU, a register. So register is like a variable, isn't it, really, if you think about it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this register has a name. It's called the accumulator. It's a big name, that is. Big. And look what happens. It will pass on to the accumulator LDA number 1. LDA number 1, load value 1, load value 1, load value 1, load value 1. Now when it gets to the accumulator, it doesn't need this load bit anymore. All it puts in is the number 1. And hey presto, we've done the decode stage. Now the control unit, in order to know where to put whatever's inside of here, basically itself, imagine it goes to the library and takes out the big fat book of assembly language, and it looks up all the different assembly language there is. And for each one, it tells the CPU where it needs to go. That's how the CPU, that's how the control unit knows where to send things. And that's part of the decode. So all of this is part of the decode. In this example, we're using LDA load and we're giving a value. In another example, it might be slightly different. So we're going to do a different example later, but for now, you need to know that for decode, it goes from the CIR to the ALU, which is storing it in the accumulator. Boom.